उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for a kind association. Let's continue reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Today we are going to start a new chapter, which is a very, very important chapter for all of us. Instructions of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami from the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna. A summary of this chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrit Pravaha Bhashya. Meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a village called Ramakeli, two brothers, Rup and Sanatan, began to devise means to get out of their government service. They were serving Mlecha king Nawab Hussain Shah. They appointed some Brahmanas to perform Purascharan ceremonies and chant the holy name of Krishna. Purascharan is a process that is followed for purification before one gets initiated. Srila Rupa Goswami deposited 10,000 gold coins with a grocer, and the balance he brought in two boats to a place called Bakla Chandradweep. There, Sri Rupa Goswami divided his money among the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and his relatives, and a portion he kept for emergency measures and personal needs. He was informed that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri through the forest of Jharikhand, today called as Jharkhand. Therefore, he sent two people to Jagannath Puri to find out when the Lord would leave for Vrindavan. In this way, Sri Rupa Goswami retired, but Sri Sanatan Goswami told the Nawab that he was sick and could not attend to his work. Giving this excuse, Sri Sanatan Goswami sat at home and studied Srimad Bhagavatam with learned Brahman scholars. Nawab Hussain Shah first sent his personal physician to see what the real facts were. Then he personally came to see why Sri Sanatan Goswami was not attending to official business. Knowing that he wanted to resign his post, the Nawab had him arrested and imprisoned. The Nawab then went off to attack Maharaj Prataprudra, Orissa. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started for Vrindavan through the forest of Jharikhand with Sri Balabhadra Bhattacharya and one Brahman Sevak, Sri Rupa Goswami left home and sent news to Sanatan that he was leaving with his younger brother Anupam Malik to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Rupa Goswami finally reached Prayag and met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 10 successive days. So Sri Rupa Goswami is going to Vrindavan. There was a time lag because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri with Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri to go to Vrindavan. The servants of Rup Goswami left Jagannath Puri, came to Navadvip, informed, came to Bengal, Ramkeli, and informed Sri Rupa Goswami that yes, Mahaprabhu has left for Vrindavan. Then Rupa Goswami and Anupam, they left from Ramkeli to go to Vrindavan. But by the time they reached Prayag, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already gone to Vrindavan, stayed there for over a month, and then come back to Prayag. That's where they met on the return trip of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's when Rupa Goswami met. Srila Rupa Goswami finally reached Prayag and met with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 10 successive days. During this time, Sri Vallabh Bhatta, who is Sripad Vallabhacharya of the Pushti Marg Sampradaya Acharya, Sripad Vallabhacharya, Sri Vallabh Bhatta, extended an invitation to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great respect. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced Sri Rupa Goswami to Sri Vallabh Bhatta. After this, a Brahman scholar named Sri Raghupati Upadhyay arrived and discussed Krishna consciousness with Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami then extensively describes the living condition of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami at Vrindavan. Hari Bol. During the 10 days at Prayag, Srila Rupa Goswami was instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who gave him the basic principles of Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The Lord then sent Srila Rupa Goswami to Vrindavan. The Lord himself returned to Varanasi and stayed at the home of Chandrasekhar. There, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will meet Srila Sanatan Goswami. Hari Bol. And then Mahaprabhu comes back to Jagannath Puri. Never ever to leave Jagannath Puri again. Because then, after some time, the Ante Leela will start, where Mahaprabhu never leaves Jagannath Puri. So this is the sequence of events when Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. This was the final trip. After this, Mahaprabhu never traveled. Which means that once we see Vrindavan, there is nothing more left to see in this world. Hari Bol. Very beautiful verse Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written in Sanskrit to introduce this chapter. Vrindavaniyam rasakelivārtāṃ kālena luptāṃ nija shakti mutkaha sancārya rūpe vyatanot puna sa prabhur vidhau pragiva loka srishtim. Translations and purports by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the introductory verse writes, before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of creation and manifested the Vedic knowledge. Tene Brahma means Shabda Brahma. Tene Brahma Hridaye Adi Kavaye. Adi Kavi is Lord Brahma. Brahma Hridaya. In the heart of Lord Brahma, Shabda Brahma, Vedic knowledge was given by Lord Krishna. In exactly the same way, just as Lord Vishnu gave knowledge into the heart of Lord Brahma, similarly, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being anxious to revive the Vrindavan pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. Hari Bol. What did Mahaprabhu want Srila Rupa Goswami to do? To revive the culture of Vrindavan, to revive Raj Bhakti, because it had become Lupta. See this? Vrindavan Keli Kalena Lupta. Vrindavaniyam Rasakeli Vartam Kalena Luptam Nija Shaktim Utkaha. But with his own potency, Sancharya Rupe, Rupa Goswami ने अपने शक्ति का संचार किया श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने, ताकि श्रील रूप गोस्वामी व्रज भक्ति का प्रचार प्रसार कर सके. हरि बोल. By this potency, Srila Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan. Activities almost lost to memory. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world through Sri Rupa Goswami. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Shri Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Lord Shri Advaita Chandra. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Rupa Sanatana Rahe Rama ke ligrame प्रभु रे मिलिया गेला अपन भवने. After meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the dead of the night at Ramkeli, the village called Ramkeli, the two brothers, Sri Rup Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, returned to their own homes. दुई भाई विषय त्यागेर उपाय सृजिला बहुधन दिया दुई ब्राह्मणे वरिला. The two brothers, Sri Rup Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, devised a plan whereby they devised means by which they could give up their material activities. For this purpose, they appointed Dui Brahman, two Brahmanas, and paid them a large amount of money. Bahu Dhana Diya. Gave the Brahmanas, two Brahmanas, lot of money to do what? Krishna mantre कराइला दुई पुरश्चरण अचिरात पाइबारे Shri Chaitanya Charan. With a sankalpa that please chant Krishna mantra, please chant Krishna mantra for us. Here is lot of money. Chant Krishna mantra for us so that we can attain the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that we can attain the lotus feet of Gaura Sundara Charan. Hari Bol. We want to attain the lotus feet, Chaitanya Charan, very soon. Purport. A Purascharan is a ritualistic ceremony performed under the guidance of an expert spiritual master or a Brahman. It is performed for the fulfillment of certain desires. It can be done for purification before this Diksha, or it can be done with a Sankalpa to attain something. One rises early in the morning, chants the Hare Krishna mantra, performs Archana by the Aarti ceremony, and worships the deities. These activities are described in Madhya Lila, 15th chapter, verse 108. Srila Prabhupada also gives a very detailed purport there. Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Gosai tabe naukate bhariya apanara ghare aila bahudhana laya. At this time, when the Purascharan was going on, Sri Rupa Goswami returned home, taking with him large quantities of riches loaded in boats. Brahmana Vaishnave dila tara ardha dhane eka chauthi dhana diya kutumba bharane. Sri Rupa Goswami, before renouncing everything and becoming a Babaji, he divided his large quantity of wealth. He brought back all the wealth in the boats. There were boatloads of gold coins. And he divided 50% of his wealth and gave it in charity to the Brahmana Vaishnavas. Brahmana Vaishnave. Brahmana Vaishnave. He gave 50%. Brahmana Vaishnave dila tara ardha dhan. And ek chauthi dhan. 1/4. So 50% he gave to the Brahmana Vaishnavas. 25%, 1/4, he kept for Kutumba Bharane, for the maintenance of his family members. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, this is a practical example of how one should divide his money and retire from household life. 50% of one's money should be donated, distributed to qualified and pure devotees of the Lord. We can give it to our Guru Maharaj for his projects. Should be given to pure devotee. 25% may be given to family members, our family members, to maintain themselves. As inheritance, we can give them 25% of the wealth. And 25% must be kept for personal use in case of emergency. 25% should be personal savings to be used as our retirement fund for our maintenance, for our emergencies, health emergencies, etc. So this is how we divide all our 100% of the wealth. 50% donation to Brahman Vaishnavas for Guru Maharaj's mission. 25% for day-to-day expenses and maintenance, inheritance to the family members who are dependents. 25% saving as emergency fund. Text 8. दंडबंध लागी चौठी संचय करिला भाल भाल विप्रस्थाने स्थाप्य राखिला. He kept That one-fourth wealth, that was for personal maintenance, emergency situations. Sri Rupa Goswami kept one-fourth of his wealth with a respectable Brahman. एक चौथी, one-fourth, संचय करेला he collected, and दंड बंध लागी for legal implications. He विप्रस्थाने स्थाप्य राखिला. He kept it deposited with a Brahman, 25%. गौडे राखिला मुद्रा 10,000 सनातन व्यय करे राखे मुड़ी घरे. So one-fourth of his wealth he kept for emergency funds. He kept with a Brahman. In those days, there was no bank. Then, out of that one-fourth wealth that he had kept for emergency funds, he took 10,000 gold coins. 10,000 mudra. He took 10,000 coins, and they were later on spent by Sri Sanatan Goswami. Sanatana vyaya kare. Rakhe mudi ghare. Mudi ghare means he kept it with a local grocer who can immediately, like an ATM, immediately hand it over to Srila Sanatan Goswami whenever he needed. No questions asked. Shri Rupa Shunila Prabhu Niladri Gaman Vanapathe Jabe Prabhu Shri Vrindavan. From his two servants who he had dispatched to Navadvip, Shri Rupa Goswami heard back from them that yes, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has returned to Jagannath Puri and was preparing to go to Vrindavan through Vanamarg, through Vanapath, through the forest marg. Why? Because previously, when they met in Ramkeli, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had tried to go through the main road and he could not reach because so many people joined him, it became a crowd, huge crowd. So now Mahaprabhu decided to go by the less trodden path through the forest. Rupa Goswami got this news that Mahaprabhu is preparing to leave to Vrindavan through the forest path. Rupa Gosai Nila Chale Pathaila Dui Jan Prabhu Jabe Vrindavana Kare Nagaman. Remember, Sri Rupa Goswami had sent two people to Jagannath Puri to find out when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would depart for Vrindavan. Shigra Asi More Tara Diba Samachar Shuniya Tad Anurupa Karipa Vyavahar. Sri Rupa Goswami told the two men, you are to return quickly and let me know when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departs from Jagannath Puri. Then I shall make the proper arrangements. एथा सनातन गोसाई भावे मने मान राजा मोरे प्रीति करे से मोर बंधन. Very important Siddhanta. Raja more priti kare se moro bandhan. Please underline, highlight, and remember this. Nawab Hussain Shah more priti kare se moro bandhan. Being very intimately involved, having intimate relationship, intimate friendship with materialistic people becomes the cause of our bondage. Hare Krishna. Shri Sanatan Goswami says, my problem is this Nawab Hussain Shah loves me. That's the problem. That's why, my dear friends, that is why a sincere devotee behaves in a way that materialistic people do not fall in love with us. Hare Krishna. If you get too much involved with materialistic people, they will start liking you. They will start developing friendship with you. And then it becomes like the relationship of Bharat Maharaj and the deer. Therefore, we should not be too friendly and we should not be inimical also with materialistic people. Our dealings should be professional and cordial. And we have to resist getting too involved with them. Then we say, come home for party, come, let's hang out, let's go here. So many doctor colleagues that tell me, hey, Abhay, we should hang out once. We'll go to some vegetarian restaurant, your family and our family, we should hang out. So many times I say, yeah, yeah, yeah. and I never follow up. I give some excuse. If they say, how about in your off week on Thursday? Let's go for a dinner. Your family and our family. There's this nice vegetarian restaurant, Kailash Parvat, Alpharetta, close to your house. Yes, yes, yes. I'll let you know. Oh, sorry, Thursday I have a class. So sorry, cannot come. Oh, Saturday I'm out of town. Sorry. Some excuse you give sweetly and avoid. Don't antagonize them. Don't become too close to them. It's a delicate balance. Suvarna Madhyam, the golden median. We should not antagonize them. We should not befriend them too much. Just be cordial. Just be pleasant. Professional dealing, and leave it at that. Intimate friendship should be with devotees. Srila Sanatan Goswami is teaching us Nawab more priti kare se mora bandhan. Very important verse, very deep verse. Etha Sanatana Gosai bhave mane man Raja more priti kare se mora bandhan. While Srila Sanatan Goswami was in Gaudadesh, Ramkeli, he was thinking, Nawab Hussain Shah is very pleased with me. More priti kare, he loves me, shares his wealth with me. He just, he's my fan. Say Morabandhan. And that is the cause of my bondage. That is my problem. That is my problem. কোন মতে রাজা যদি মোরে ক্রুদ্ধ হয় তবে অব্যাহতি হয় করিলু নিশ্চয়. Look at the amazing, lovely, mature psychology of our dear, dear, dear Srila Sanatan Goswami Prabhupada. Just see. Srila Sanatan Goswami is saying, Nawab more priti kare, se moro bandhan. Therefore, kona mate raja jadi more kruddha hai, tabe avyahati hai karilu nishchay. I can avyahati, I can escape if for some reason, somehow or the other, I can get the Nawab to hate me. I can get the Nawab to be angry with me. Right now, he loves me too much. Just see. Srila Sanatan Goswami is so focused on getting the lotus feet, attaining the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants Chaitanya Charan. For that, whatever is unfavorable, he wants to cut it out. Anukulya sa sankalpaha, pratikulya vivarjanam. He wants to completely give up. Varjana means to give. Vivarjana means Vishesha Rupena Varjana. Completely he wants to give up. Nawab loves me. He is an impediment on the path of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's service. Out. I will behave in a way that he will hate me. Doesn't care. That's how we should be. That's how we should be. Accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. Anukulya sa sankalpaha, pratikulya vivarjanam. That is Sharanagati. That is surrender. কোনো মতে রাজা যদি মোরে ক্রুদ্ধ হয় তবে অব্যাহতি হয় করিলু নিশ্চয়. If the Nawab Hussain Shah, if Nawab Hussain Shah somehow or the other becomes angry with me, starts hating me, start detesting me, all his preeti is gone, starts hating me, I shall be greatly relieved. That is my conclusion. Korilu nischay. अस्वस्थेर छद्मचरी रहे निज घरे राजकार्य छाड़ी लाना जाए राजा द्वारे. This is the thing. We may think that this जो भी है यार डिवोटी नहीं है, डिवोटी नहीं होगा, पर बंदा अच्छा है. बोलते हैं ना, sometimes you hear devotees like, it's okay यार, he may not be a devotee, but he's good. Hare Krishna. हराव अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा. How can there be any good quality in someone who is Hari Abhakta? This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavata. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर भगवत अकिंचना सर्वे गुणे तत्र समासते सुरा हराव अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेन ह्य धावतो बहिः. They are simply following the dictations of their mind. They are Hari Abhakta. How can there be any good quality in them? Good qualities are to be found in devotees. And this is a fact because material truthfulness, material politeness, material helpfulness, all this is on the level of the physical body, which is Nashivant, which is completely temporary, destructible. It is not the true identity. Someone loves your shirt. Every time sees your shirt, oh, what a nice shirt. Nice shirt, nice shirt, nice shirt. But doesn't care even 2 cents about you. That is the nature of a abhakta. He may have all good qualities, may be very polite, very helpful, may wish you happy birthday, bring a cake, have a surprise celebration in the office for you, keep the door open for you, do all these things. But all these things in the ultimate analysis are useless. They do nothing for the soul because this person is not interested in Krishna. So friendship should be cultivated with devotees of Krishna only. This is the love of materialistic people. Outwardly, it looks like Nawab Hussain Shah is the ultimate employer. Wow! He's sharing all his profits, all his wealth, all his fame, all his power with Srila Sanatan Goswami. Dabir Khas, Sakar Malik. He's giving everything to Sakar Malik. Even gave a nice name, gave him a nice position. Wow, wow. Nawab Hussain Shah is a great friend. He is the number one employer for Sanatan Goswami. Number one employer in Bengal. We can give an award. Voted number one employer. Best place to work, Nawab Hussain Shah. This is the love of Nawab Hussain. Look at this word. This is the love of materialistic people. अस्वास्थ्येर छद्म करी रहे निज घरे राजकार्य छाड़िला ना जाए राजद्वारे. As long as you are working, materialistic people will love you. As long as you're scratching their back, they will love you. The moment you become useless, their love dwindles and fades away. As long as Srila Sanatan Goswami was showing up to work and working effectively, efficiently, with dexterity, he was being glorified. He was being generously compensated. But the moment he stopped working, gone is the so-called love. Haribol. Gone is the so-called love. This is the material nature. This is the nature of material love. Don't have any faith in it, please. अस्वास्थ्येर छद्म करी रहे निज घरे राजकार्य छाड़िला ना जाए राजद्वारे. On the pretext of bad health, Sri Sanatan Goswami remained at home. Thus he gave up government service and did not go to the royal court. लोभी कायस्थ गण राज कार्य करे आपने स्वगृहे करे शास्त्र विचारे. Ah, the greedy masters of his clerical and secretarial staff, they started performing the duties, government duties of Srila Sanatan Goswami, while Srila Sanatan Goswami was on FMLA, sick leave. Srila Sanatan Goswami remained at home and discussed Srimad Bhagavatam, discussed the revealed scriptures. Gaur Sundar Saraswati, you want to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna. Sanatan Goswami was the minister in charge of the government secretariat, and his assistants, the under-secretaries and clerks, all belonged to the Kayastha community. Formerly, the Kayasthas belonged to the clerical and secretarial staff of the government, and later, if one served in such a post, he was called a Kayastha. Eventually, if a person could not identify himself as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, he used to introduce himself as a Kayastha to get a wealthy and honorable position. In Bengal, it is said that if one cannot give the identity of his caste, he calls himself a Kayastha. On the whole, the Kayastha community is a mixture of all castes, and it especially includes those engaged in clerical or secretarial work. Materially, such people are always busy occupying responsible government posts. When Sanatan Goswami was relaxing and feeling inclined to retire from government service, many Kayasthas on his secretarial staff were very eager to occupy his post. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that when Sanatan Goswami was a government minister and the Kayasthas who assisted him saw that he was reluctant to continue, they became very expert in their duties.
See, this is the nature of material world. People just want to grab power and position. In the book The Seventh Goswami, which is a biography of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there is mention of a British officer who was very cordial with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he hated Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur secretly because he was envious of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's competence, his popularity, his efficiency, and how he had risen up the ranks. And this British officer, who saw himself as a competitor of Thakur Mahasaya, actually wanted to murder Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had an intense spiritual calling and he took premature retirement, voluntary retirement. He retired and then settled in Navadvip. So, sometime later, this British officer came to meet Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, saw how he was living like a saint, and he confessed. He said, Kedarnath ji, I want to make a confession. I was very envious of you, I hated you, and I had even plotted to murder you. But fortunately, you retired, and I got the position, and I didn't have to murder you. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also wrote a short autobiography. In his own autobiography, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions this incidents. And he said, I was very surprised to hear this because I always saw this British officer as my well-wisher, as a very cordial colleague. Dekho, this is the nature of this material world. Here also people are there working under Srila Sanatana Goswami, but internally they wanted to grab the power. My Guru Maharaj, Param Puja Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling that he had gone to Cambridge University for a class, and after that the student body leaders wanted to take him on a tour and show some historical places. So they showed different places and they were telling the history of different monuments. In France, there is a very big palace of the French king. It was a huge palace with many bedrooms, and this French king was an entertainer. He liked to entertain. Entertain means to have guests over and give them nice experience, nice food, ha ha he he, enjoy with them. He used to love to do that. So he would invite people from kings and dukes from England, Scotland, Ireland, here, Germany, from neighboring countries. He would invite and they would have a big blast party. And in the party, he would show off his beautiful queen. He would show off the beautiful maid servants serving him. He would show off the world's best chefs that he had hired. He would show off his beautiful palace and all the luxuries and comforts and opulence that he enjoys. He would show off. Those parties were meant for showing off his opulence. Hare Krishna. And one day, these people became so envious of him that they all got together, murdered this king and his queen, and that place is there where he and the king and the queen were murdered. There was a political coup, and they just took over everything. You enjoy this palace, you show off this palace, forget it. We own it from today. They just took over everything out of jealousy. So this is the nature of this material world, my dear friends. Therefore, devotee should keep a low profile. A devotee doesn't show his or her opulence, and we just associate with devotees, be cordial, and have a working professional relationship with materialistic people, and just one day we retire like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and just engage in bhajan in the association of devotees, like Pradyumna Prabhu. Hari Bol. Padhiye Prabhu ji.
Sanatan Goswami was a Brahmana belonging to the Sarasvata Brahmana community. It is said that when he resigned, a subordinate named Purandara Khan, who was a Kayastha, occupied his post.
भट्टाचार्य पंडित विष त्रिशलैया भागवत विचार करे सभाते बसिया. Srila Sanatan Goswami used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in an assembly of 20 or 30 learned Brahman scholars. 20-30 भट्टाचार्य को लेकर बैठते थे और श्रीमद् भागवतम का स्वाध्याय करते थे, भागवतम पर विचार करते थे, भागवतम पर डिस्कशन करते थे. श्रील सनातन गोस्वामी. प्लीज रीड द purport, Roji.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following commentary on the words Bhagavat Vichar. As confirmed in the Mundaka Upanishad 1:1-4-5, there are two kinds of educational systems. Dve vidye veditavya iti ha sma yad brahma vido vadanti para chaiva paracha tatra para rigvedo yajurvedah samvedo atharvavedah shiksha kalpo vyakaranam niruktam chando jyotisham iti atha parayaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. There are two kinds of educational systems. One deals with transcendental knowledge, para vidya, and the other with material knowledge, apara vidya.
This we saw
All
in
the-
Jaiva Dharma. We saw this. There is Paravidya and Aparavidya. Jada Vidya and Divya Jnana. Two things are there. Yes, Prabhuji.
All the Vedas, the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda, along with their corollaries known as Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda, Jyotisha, belong to the inferior system of material knowledge, Apara Vidya.
So there is Paravidya, which is spiritual education, which we get from Guru. Yesterday in Bhakti Vaibhav, we were reading that one should ask Adhyatmic questions to one's Gurujan and learn. That is Paravidya, transcendental knowledge, Divya Jnana, Hridaya Prakashito. And then there is Aparavidya, inferior material education, which is what you get in Emory University, Georgia Tech, University of Georgia, Harvard, Stanford, Ivy League. All these universities in the world are giving only Aparavidya. There is not a trace of Paravidya in all these material universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Columbia University, Yale University. You go anywhere, it is only a Paravidya. What about the Vedas? Even in the Vedas, in the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and the other branches of knowledge like Chanda Shastra, to learn the Chanda Shastra, Sanskrit grammar, how the different chandas are there, what are the names of chandas, how to sing them. This is all inferior knowledge. It is just material knowledge. You can learn Chanda Shastra and compose a verse glorifying a politician. Jyotish Shastra, Vastu Shastra, how to build a house, how to read astrological chart. This is all aparavidya. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada rejected Jyotish Shastra. Hari Bol. He was the greatest astrologer of his time. He had commented on the Surya Siddhanta, gave up everything, considering it to be all inferior knowledge. So, Jyotish Shastra, Chanda Shastra, all this Vastu Shastra, and so many other things mentioned in the Vedas, that is all inferior knowledge, aparavidya. It is Jada Vidya. It is knowledge only of this material world. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Traiguna Vishaya Veda Nistraiguno Bhava Arjuna. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature, means it's Jada Vidya, material nature. Become transcendental to the knowledge of the material world, become transcendental to aparavidya, and be situated in paravidya, divyatya. Great, Prabhuji.
By Paravidya, one can understand the Akshara, Brahman, or the absolute truth.
Tvam
As,
aksharam avyayam veditavyam. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is glorified by Arjun. Tvam aksharam avyayam. You are avyay, inexhaustible. You are akshar. Akshar. You are just completely spiritual. Read, Prabhuji, please. Thank you.
as far as the Vedic literature is concerned, the Vedanta Sutra is accepted as the Paravidya.
Yeah, so there are the four schools of education in the school of Vedic philosophy, and what Bhagwan Shri Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadeva has given in the Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra, that is pure. Vedanta Sutra is Shabda Brahma, the Brahma Sutras. Atato Brahma Jigyasa, Anandamayo Bhyasat. All these Vedanta Sutras, they are Shabda Brahma. They are completely spiritual. They are Divya Gyan, Paravidya. Vedanta Sutra is accepted as Paravidya. Yes, Prabhuji.
Srimad Bhagavatam is an explanation of that Paravidya.
This is very important. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains this to Sri Prakashananda Saraswati also. What happens is, very great people, they can very eloquently express spiritual truths. What is eloquence? Srila Prabhupada says, absolute truth spoken very succinctly is eloquence. बहुत लंबा भाषण नहीं, बस बोलते हैं वन लाइनर इन इंग्लिश में, वन लाइनर. और क्या वन लाइनर मारता है वो? Origin of that is Bhagwan Vyasdev. So this Vedanta Sutra, they are sutras. So big Siddhanta is stated in few words, very eloquently, very succinctly. That is called sutra. Now sutras for common men in general, they need elaborate explanation. So Vedanta Sutra of Srila Vyasdev, whatever 500 some sutras he wrote, those 500 plus sutras Srila Vyasdev wrote as Vedanta Sutras. Srila Vyasdev explained those Vedanta Sutras in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadasya Torva. It starts with the Vedanta Sutra explanation. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural explanation and commentary on Vedanta Sutra by the same author. Same author. Only the author who has written Sutra can give the Savistar explanation. That Savistar explanation is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam and Vedanta Sutra are inseparable. Vedanta Sutra are the codes, aphorisms, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the elaborate explanation. Hari Bol. And the Acharya Tika, like Srila Sridhar Swami, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much appreciated. Commentaries of Srila Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. These commentaries are the further explanation. Hari Bol. Please read from me.
Those who aspire for liberation, mukti or moksha, and introduce themselves as Vedantika are also equal to those groups aspiring to improve religion, dharma, economic development, artha, and sense gratification, kama. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha are called Chaturvarga. They are all within the system of inferior material knowledge. Any literature giving information about the spiritual world, spiritual life, spiritual identity, and the spirit soul is called Para Vidya.
Knowledge of the Chaturvarga, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, this is all cheating Dharma. Because there is no Radha Dasyam, there is no Nikunja Lila, there is no Lila Pravesh. What is it? It's all cheating. If you cannot see Radha Krishna, it's all cheating. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam begins by rejecting Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam. श्रीमद्भागवतं महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वर हृद्य सद्य हृद अवरुध्यते तकृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is established in the heart. Krishna is the Vastava Vastu. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this very detailed in Jaiva Dharma beginning. Please continue, Prabhuji.
Srimad Bhagavatam does not have anything to do with the materialistic way of life. It gives transcendental information to educate people in the superior system of Para Vidya.
Jai.
Sanatan Goswami was engaged in discussing the Bhagavad Vidya, which means he discussed transcendental superior knowledge. Those who are karmis, jnanis, or yogis are not actually fit to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. Only Vaishnavas.
Nirbhaktaranam Satam. It is meant for the Paramhamsas. Srimad Bhagavatam, Tad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It is very dear to the devotees. Read, Prabhuji.
Only Vaishnavas or pure devotees are fit to discuss that literature. As stated in
Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Tad Rasamrita Triptasya Nanatrasyad Rati Kvachit. Shri Shukdev Goswami, Shri Shukacharya, in the end, he tells that Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Sarva Vedanta Sar, the essence of all Vedic literature, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Tad Rasamrita Triptasya, and one who is satisfied by drinking the rasa of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nanatrasyad Rati Kvachit, will never have rati, will never have attraction for anything else. Hari Bol, only Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhuji.
as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, 12th canto, 13th chapter, text 18. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad
Srimad
Vaishnava
Bhagavatam
Puranam
Puranamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Like Shad Goswami Ashtakam.
Yasmin Paramahamsyame Kamamalam Gnanam Param Giyate Yatra Gnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam Tat Shrinvan Supathan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuche Naraha.
Rebo, very beautiful verse. Worth memorizing. Glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhuji.
Although Srimad Bhagavatam is counted among the Puranas, it is called the spotless Purana.
Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. There is no Dharma Artha Kama Moksha Mal. Haribol. It is Amalam. Yes.
Because it does not discuss anything material, it is liked by transcendental Vaishnava devotees.
Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam.
The subject matter found in Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for Paramahamsas.
Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate.
As it is said, Paramo Nirmatsaranam Tatam Vedyam.
The second verse of Bhagavatam. Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. Yes.
A Paramahamsa is one who does not live in the material world and who does not envy others. In Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is discussed to arouse the living entity to the transcendental position of gnana, knowledge, and vairagya, renunciation.
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayoshitah Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chadat Ahetukam.
As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, text 12. Tat Shaddadana Munayo Gnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pasyantyatmanyatman Chatmanam Bhaktya Shrutagrihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti.
Bhaktya Shruta Grihitaya. By hearing from the right source Srimad Bhagavatam, we can develop transcendental knowledge and transcendental vairagya. Yukta vairagya and Divya Dhyan. Hari Bol. Jnana Vairagya Yukta. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Vichar, Supathan. We should read it carefully, study it carefully, Supathan and Vichar. We must contemplate. We must discuss. We must explain Srimad Bhagavatam. We should be absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. Kathantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So we'll continue reading tomorrow, but today we'll pause here. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. The sweetest continuation of Srimad Bhagavatam Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Thank you very much.
Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.